fly get off that sink, you don't know where it's been.
I have gone, now, wait a minute. I've gone back to my childhood. Did your mama, your dear sweet old mama, did she ever wash you in the kitchen sink when you were a baby?
She washed me in the big galvanized steel tub.
Oh, that was later.
Remember,
I
got a picture of that.
Oh, yeah, but that came later in my life. When I was a baby, I was washed in the kitchen sink.
Well, I might have been too.
Until I was about 16 or 17, as I recall.
And they had to put in a double sink.
Oh, I have so many things I want to say about that. Welcome to Cookin' Cheaps. Nice to see you.
Oh, we're so glad to see you. Come on in.
I see you're just winging it.
Oh, yeah, well,
today.
Oh, give me a break. Let's get the witch in here right away and see where we got...
Where is she? Where?
Here it is.
Oh, okay.
See where we got the idea for this show.
Oh, you almost put out Doris's eye. Poor Doris.
Poor Doris.
Is my
indeed. toupee
on? I had forgot to adjust my toupee before.
I think you need to call David Letterman and tell him that company that he's using down in Costa Rica is not doing a good job with toupees. Where'd you get it? Kmart?
No, it's Sears.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Dear Laban and Larry, we love your show and wonder if you could help us. We went to a party last night. When we woke up this morning, we were sick big time.
Oh, no.
They serve
salmonella or something?
No, they serve buffalo wings and margaritas. The wings were cooked in barbecue sauce and the margaritas cooked in us. We like wings, but is there any other way to cook them? And what can we do with tequila? Thanks, Reverend and Mrs. Arbutus Lovejoy of Lynchburg, Virginia.
Well, we have Arbutus Lovejoy. I went to the post office box the other morning in my business, and there was a letter to Marty, my business partner, from a sales rep whose name was Michelle Lovemore. That was a great
day. A wonderful day.
Well, I don't want anyone to think that I have frittered away the station's hard-earned cash buying all of this tequila, because I don't think all of this is very much. This is about enough for 2 recipes for what I have to do today. It really does have a little bit of tequila in it, and it's real good.
Right.
So anyway.
And it's mostly all going to
which is, by the way, a Margarita Pie, a frozen Margarita Pie, and it looks to be stunning.
Oh, I can't wait. And I'm doing teriyaki chicken wings that are actually not too bad for you. So I'll show you how to do them in a way that would be perfect, but this is not a perfect world, and most of you don't have the problems that us with bad hearts do. So we'll show you both ways to do it. And Grandmother Nudge has a wonderful recipe today also with chicken wings that you can bake in a big pot.
Grandmother who?
Nudge.
Nudge?
Yeah, she's always...
You didn't do it. Do it like this. You did it wrong.
All right, well, now, Larry, let me show everybody what I've got to do, and then I'll just start doing this, and you can go on what you bet. These are wings, and you have to cut them apart. They're in 3 sections. This is the tip. This is one drumette, and this is the other, and they have to be cut apart, which I will now do, with a huge meat cleaver. Now, if you're real lucky, you'll have a store that has them already cut into drumette sizes, but you need about 3 pounds to do this.
I used to be in the drumettes.
So you just get rid of your frustrations.
And some of your fingers if you're not looking what you're doing. Now, I noticed you throw the tip away.
Well, you could use the tip in soup, but we're not cooking any soup anytime soon, so...
All those tips gone to waste.
That's right. Anyway, that's all I'm going to do for the next half hour, so you go ahead.
Let me give you a tip. Oh, no, you've got one there. Okay, that's fine.
Take a tip from me.
This is interesting. This I'm telling you, this is just a marvelous little dessert. It really is. This frozen Margarita Pie. And the first thing you do is, it sounds like a circus act is working in here.
What's wrong
Take an entire stick of butter. It calls for real butter, guaranteed to slam your heart shut, honey. And if you want to use margarine, but I'm using real butter because this is what it's called for, and melt it. Just melt it, because you're going to need it in a couple of minutes. Now, the first thing you have to do is to make the crust, and this has to be one of the more interesting crusts I have ever seen. Because this is a margarita pie, and as you know, when they serve margaritas, they always put that salt around the edge of it there, and that kind of gives it that little mwah. Well, apparently, we try to attain the same thing with this frozen pie by using salted pretzels. And you'll notice I have fat-free. Of course, the rest of this recipe is enough to kill you. I was trying to make up for, Laban, don't do that again.
Oh, I won't.
You're making me real nervous. He sort of jumped a little bit that time when he did it. I'm trying to make up for that stick of butter by using this fat-free. Now, I think the best ones to get are these little itty-bitty ones because they're easier to crunch up that way. Now, Miss Doris has another suggestion. Yeah, we'll do that in a couple minutes, Doris. There is an easier way to do this, but it doesn't have quite the comedic value that this does. This is such a messy recipe. When you get it done, you crunch it up real fine. You could probably do this, don't you reckon, Doris? You could probably do this in a food blender if you wanted to. You could. Or Doris has suggested yet another method, and it's called the beat the stuffings out of the bag method. And you can do that, too, and that's probably, she's right, that's probably the fastest way to do it. Look at that. It's just taking it for a fare thee well. So let's do that. You know what? I think that maybe that has more comedic value. Now, Doris got used to doing this with Harold. So that's where she came up with the idea. So anyway, whatever it takes to get there, or you can roll it out delicately like I was trying to a while ago so it wouldn't make so much noise. You need 1.5 cups of it, and that is, I discovered the other day when I made this recipe the first time, that is about 1/2 bag. Use the sticks because they do crunch up easier and finer. And for heaven's sakes, don't accidentally go out and get those soft ones. You'll be beating on those things for 6 months, and nothing will come of it. So anyway, that's the first thing you got to do. I don't need to do too much of this. This is ridiculous. I should have just rolled it out like I wanted to, but no, Doris had to have me do this. The noisiest, most irritating possible thing. Laban, do you have something to say? What? Do something.
How did we both end up with noisy recipes?
Well, we weren't supposed to. I was just going to roll it out.
Oh.
Miss Smarty Pants here decides that this would be the funnier thing to do. Of course, she doesn't take anything in the kitchen very seriously anymore. Have you noticed that?
No, I know.
She's been around us too long.
She is light,
She
very
used
light.
to be real serious in the kitchen. Now she's the original Miss Goofball. So anyway, enough of that. I'm not going to play with that for another 5 minutes of my life. Anyway, what you need is you need 1.5 cups of that. So I've already got 1/2 cup from where I made it up the other day. And let's go on ahead and let's see, this is 1/2 cup, so 2 of these would make 1 cup. So anyway, let's take that. See, that's pretty fine. It should be just a little bit finer.
It's mighty fine.
It is. Now, take the entire stick of butter and pour it in there, like so. And it also calls for sugar. It's sort of a sweet and sour type of thing. Calls for 1/2 cup of, no, it calls for 1/4 cup of sugar. Goes in there also. 1/4 cup of sugar goes in there. And now you'll just mix that all around, and this is going to make a real nice crust. And also you take a large pie plate and a slightly smaller one that fits inside it. Fortunately, I inherited old Toots's pie plates. I have billions of them. Almost had fewer ones this morning when I went out the door. They flew from my hand. And you will need to butter one up slightly, so I'll do that in a couple of seconds.
All right. Well, while you're doing that, I'm going to make the sauce that goes with my wings.
Oh, please.
Now, you need 1/3 cup of lemon juice, and Jeff Smith just dropped dead, baby. He's always talking so bad about this kind of lemon juice, but I'll tell you, when I looked at the prices of lemons today and I need 1/3 cup, I said, forget it.
Well, it looks like lime juice to me.
No, it's lemon.
Oh, is it?
And it's going to cook.
Well,
so
mine is a lime because it looks like a lime. It's one of these low-down things, but I didn't need very much.
No, that's right. And why?
And you're right, they're expensive, and why bother?
Now, that's 1/3 cup of lemon juice, and now I'm going to put in 1/4 cup of ketchup. There it is, 1/4 cup of ketchup.
What a mess.
Yes, it is. Oh, you mean yours? Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it's there. And now I need 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. This is the same stuff that we recently used, and believe it or not, it's still reasonably soft.
Is that a halfway cue, or are you just yawning?
I'm just yawning.
We have such a subtle staff.
I know, they are.
I thought he was trying to tell me something.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, anyway, I got some more stuff to go in here. Do you want to work on yours for a little bit?
Well, yeah, I got something to do here just for about 5 or 10 seconds.
Well, just
take just a little bit of butter and just sort of do this a little bit across the bottom. You don't want to overdo it, but anyway, there you go. Now, the next thing you do is you will take this and distribute it around right smart. And the more you distribute it, the easier this is to do, and the more sense it makes when you get down to the real hoo-ha, which I'm going to do here in just a second. Now take your second plate like so, and just kind of work it around. Squish it around there.
Look at that. Well, you're just so smart.
Well, anyway, that's about as good as this one. It's not totally distributed equally. As you can see, I'm a little bit off there. But anyway, it really makes a real
it's because
fine
you got
crust.
too much over on this side. Now, if we
that's
just took a
exactly
knife
what I
and
just said.
put over there, you could...
Well, we'll just do that if it makes you feel any better,
Well,
Mr.
no, well,
Johnson.
you can
I know how it upsets you.
You know, I want you to be neat.
All right, let's try that again and see if we can get it so that it's a little more even this time.
Not bad.
Well, it's okay. It's not as pretty as the one I did for the show today. Now, what you now will have to do is just let that chill a little bit. Put it in the refrigerator, let it chill, and in a couple of minutes I'll show you the good stuff that goes into this before you put it in the freezer and freeze it.
All right, now into mine, I've got lemon juice, ketchup, and brown sugar in there. Now I'm going to put in a half a cup, which is right smart, of soy sauce. And I want to tell you, I'm using light soy sauce because it doesn't have as much salt in it, and it's just, I think, generally better for you.
Oh, yeah, like all these pretzels aren't going to kill us today.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You know, I'm trying to do my best for the people. Power to the people. All right, now let's see. We need to put in 1/4 of a teaspoon of garlic salt. Let me see if I can get the lid off this bad boy. I don't know why I leave these. Do you take these off at home?
Garlic powder. What's he using, garlic salt?
No, I'm using garlic powder. Don't get smart with me.
It says garlic powder right there.
Not garlic salt, garlic powder.
She needs glasses. Oh, she already has glasses.
Oh, no, garlic powder. It was a figment of your vivid imagination, Doris. All right, now, okay, 1/4 of a cup of vegetable oil, and this is of some unknown variety. What is this? Natural blend, which includes also canola. All right,
natural.
so 1/4 cup. There it goes, right on in. And then a half a teaspoon, which is, oh, Doris, I used a whole half a teaspoon of garlic powder. It won't be fit to eat. A half a teaspoon.
Let's blame Doris for this. How
A
embarrassing.
half a teaspoon of pepper, and and the wings. Now let's stir all this up real good, and then we're going to put the wings in them, and we're going to let them marinate in the sauce for 3 hours. So we'll pretend. Anyway, Larry, take it away while I put the wings over here in the sauce. Just pile them on in.
Okay. All right, here's what we're going to do now. We're going to make this marvelous, marvelous filling that goes inside this frozen Margarita Pie, which consists of 1/3 of a cup of lime juice. And this is one of those plastic limes they grow on plastic trees. 1/3 of a cup of that, which just ought about finish this little baby right off. And I'm sorry, but he was right. Buying enough of them to squeeze 1/3 of a cup wasn't worth the price. It was much cheaper to do it this way, and I know a lot of people look down at these things real low down, but the great thing is you can use them for a little, I don't know what
And
you
it's
use
cheap.
them, throw them away.
And that is our main name. Cheap.
14-ounce can of concentrated milk, and I'm using actually condensed sweetening today because that's what I like to use on recipes like this because it is a dessert. And it's a nice, real thick stuff. And we'll put that in there. And 2 to 4 tablespoons of tequila. Dun, dun. Be careful, we don't have BMI-SCAP rates to that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, and a little bit for the staff party. And believe me, ladies and gentlemen, that's about all this staff could handle. I tell you that right now. I don't keep tequila around my house because, you know, I don't believe in alcoholic beverages, and so I had to go out and buy this.
Yeah.
Mr. Johnson told me that you could buy these little tiny ones, and you can.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. I thought you'd
Yes.
only get these on airlines, but not anymore. They actually sell them. This calls for orange-flavored liqueur. I did not have orange-flavored liqueur per se. However, I did have triple sec, which has lots of pictures of oranges on the front of it.
Same thing.
It is. It really is. It's virtually the same thing. You can use triple sec or some kind of orange-flavored liqueur. 2 tablespoons. Go in. Now, you know with all this stuff, it's got to be, just
Put a little
wonderful.
in for the baby.
For the baby.
Yeah.
Just a wee little bit extra for the baby. So anyway, well, that baby is growing.
Yeah.
Baby is growing all the time. And then, well, mix this around just a little bit first and get that all mixed up real good. You want to read the recipe while I'm trying to get this goop to go through this
Let
mess?
me read both of these, and then we'll bring Miss Ford.
When I have something else to do before
Okay.
Miss Forbes or whatever.
Well,
her name
anyway,
is.
the teriyaki wingdings from Kathleen Trexler of Chester, Virginia. Call for 1/3 cup of lemon juice, 1/4 cup of ketchup, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, 1/2 cup of soy sauce, 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/4 cup of vegetable oil, 1/2 teaspoon of pepper, 3 pounds of chicken wings, cut at the joints, tips removed. You combine them all in the sauce, and then we're going to bake them in a little bit. Larry's Margarita Pie was sent in by the same lady, Kathleen Trexler. And matter of fact, she did both of them. And he needs 1.5 cups of crushed pretzels, 1/2 cup of butter, that's 1 stick, 1/4 cup of sugar, 1/3 cup of lime juice, 1 14-ounce can of concentrated milk, and I believe Larry is right, that's the one with sweetened condensed.
They don't have something called concentrated
No, they don't.
in the store.
So this is a homemade kind of thing.
Yeah.
2 to 4 tablespoons of tequila. I think you need to put more in if you didn't. 2 tablespoons of orange-flavored liqueur, and 1 cup of whipped cream.
Well, let me go back and readjust. And speaking of a whipped cream, that's something else I decided I wasn't going to make from scratch today. I just didn't have time. Why bother? So what I'm doing is I'm using some ready-made stuff. And what you're going to do is...
Just a cup.
Oh, excuse me. What you're going to do is just fold that in there. All right? Fold that in there also. And while I'm folding and folding and folding, Miss Doris will come in and show you her
Okay.
fine recipe. Come on in here, Doris, darling. How are you? It's been so long since I've seen you. How have you been?
I'm just fine, and everybody that talks to us say, you guys pick on me too much, and they don't know why I take it.
Because it took so long to make it, and she'll never find that recipe again. Oh.
Okay.
Go ahead.
The recipe I did today is from Gloria D. Huckabee from Corny Point, New Jersey. Lady who does everything, we don't mention New Jersey on the air, so this is one. I know that station only has 2 microphones. What can I say?
Just say it in here, whatever it is you say.
Okay. I had to use 10 chicken wings, and I cut the tips off, too, because I figured it's easy to brown. 4 tablespoons of cooking oil, 2 cups of chopped onions, 8 cloves of garlic chopped.
Good heavens.
Yeah, I used that instant. You know, the ones that you had, they're already chopped in the thing. And 2 cups of raw rice, 1 tablespoon cumin, where am I? 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne, how do you say that? Cayenne pepper?
Cayenne.
Cayenne pepper.
Canaan's close enough.
She's been in that religious part of the county too long.
Well,
She's been to Canaan. Go ahead.
okay, 4 1/2 cups of chicken broth, salt and pepper to taste, and 1/2 cup of white wine. And you brown your chicken wings.
Did you put the wine in it?
Yes.
Because I know you're aversion to alcohol.
I know, and I bought the cheapest thing they had in the store, and it'll probably kill you.
No, cheap is good for cooking.
That's what I did. I bought the cheapest one they had. And you mix all the stuff together, brown your chicken wings, and then saute your onion and garlic, and then just put it in a pot and let it cook. Now, I took it out while it still had a little moisture to it, but I made it hours ago. And it looks a little dry. It's starting to get down the bottom. It's not too bad.
No, it's fine.
But
it's fine.
I like...
it's not as dry as your
right.
act.
Being Italian, I think instead of putting the cumin in it, you could put saffron. and make it more of a risotto with the, with the rice.
Doris, how dare you bring on this expensive
Well, you know,
croissant?
well, my dad bought this for my mother years ago, and she absolutely refused to use it, so I got it.
Okay. Well, thanks for coming by.
You're welcome.
And look both ways before crossing.
Yes.
Always say please and thank you. Now,
Why?
vamoose. She's out of here. Okay, I've mixed all of this. What I've done is I've taken the whipped cream and I've folded it into this marvelous mixture. This is a wonderful recipe. So the next thing you do then is you just put it in there and you put it in the freezer at least 2 hours before you're going to serve it. Mine has been in the freezer for, roughly 3 days. I don't think we will ever be able to serve it today. But it is a nice, wonderful recipe. I'm telling you, that is just gorgeous. You'd be proud to serve it to anybody. What you got, Johnson?
Well, now, what I've done, we're pretending these wings have marinated in this bowl for 3 hours. They really haven't, and we'll put them back in here. Then you're going to bake them for about 30 minutes at 375 degrees, and about halfway through you need to baste it with the marinade. Now, let me tell you something about chicken health here, folks. You don't want to use the marinade after about 15 minutes because it might not cook enough. And since this is raw chicken, which we all know, unfortunately, might possibly be contaminated with something that would give you a stomach ache, we recommend that you very carefully avoid messing around with the raw chicken or the marinade after the stuff is cooked. In other words, baste it one time with the marinade when there's still at least 15 minutes to go, and you might probably be okay. Otherwise, be careful.
Can we go taste it?
I think we can in just a minute. Now, you bake that, baste it, and they'll be done in about a half an hour at 375 degrees, a little hotter than you usually bake at. Well, let's go over here and try and see what it's like.
Well, I'm just dying to get my fingers in this pie. Oh, here, let me give you some of Doris's stuff.
And let me give you a wing.
Well, there's no delicate way to get this out of there.
Just do it.
Well, okay, there we go. But the important thing is, let me see if I got this pie. Oh, it has thawed a little bit, and this, isn't this beautiful? This is the pretty one. The
well,
nice
now let's
crust.
see if you can get it out.
This perfect crust. Got this pie. Oh, it has thawed a little bit, and this, isn't this beautiful? This is the pretty one. The
well,
nice
now let's
crust.
see if you can get it out.
This perfect crust. But you know, it's thawed a little more than it ought to have. And this crust is just going all to blazes. Well,
it came right out. How wonderful.
There we go. All right. Well, I'll get myself a little piece of it also.
I want some
Go on
pie.
ahead and try that
I
pie.
want some pie.
Well, I have destroyed that piece totally. Looks a little crumbly to me. I think it could have used a little more butter. What do you think of that pie? Isn't that fabulous? Really is. Well, let me try one of these little wings.
It's just wonderful. That tequila always has worked on me.
Ooh, these chicken wings are wonderful. I love it.
You know, yesterday,
I'm trying Miss Doris's rice.
I was at church. It was my church's 105th anniversary, and they had a great big old lunch and everything. And, you know, I swear I believe they would have loved this, this pie.
Probably so.
Well,
Doris, that rice is real fine. It really is.
I'm going to try one of these chicken wings and see if they're any good.
Well, you would hardly believe there was all that stuff in the tequila pie. But it is real good. And it does that little crust, that stuff, what is it, pretzels, really, that little salty,
Doris,
that's wonderful.
Your chicken is great. My wings are very good, I think, if I do say so myself.
I think it's a nice meal, really. And this is a good dessert with these chicken wings because, you know, they're a little spicy.
Be perfect for a Super Bowl party or a World Series party.
And good thing I like about them is they're not so spicy that they burn you and hurt your face.
And if you can get the pre-cut little chicken drumettes so that you don't have to cut them, this recipe is so easy any fool could do it, including Larry.
I was in the chicken drumettes when I was a child.
Were you?
Uh-huh.
I bet you were
Cool.
cute with that baton and that.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is all wonderful. And Doris, I think this rice is real fine. I don't think it's too dry.
It's delicious.
It's wonderful.
Well, I hope you enjoyed it today, and come on back next time.
We want to see you around. Bye. And come back again maybe the time after that. You know, if you want to come back even a couple of weeks later, you know. Well, heck, we'll be here for like 16 more weeks, I think.